How can you be better than 99% of the people out there? Well, I'm going to talk about that in today's video, in today's vlog. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's episode 4. I'm Joseph. If you've never met me before, then welcome back to the channel. Today, we are vlogging our day and how we are building a 20K a month business, working less than 20 hours a week. And I'm just kind of taking you along the journey and sharing the things that I'm learning so that you can also implement them and see success in your own life. Now, when it comes to being better than people, it's not that you are better than them and you get to boast about it. It's about becoming the person who can do the thing. And I'm going to share something with you that's going to be absolutely powerful when it comes to changing your life. And it's not only backed by scripture, it's also embedded in human nature. So we're going to talk about that today. But before we get started, I'm actually going to go get some coffee real quick. Let's talk about the first thing that you need to do if you want to become 99% better than anyone else, but most importantly, better than yourself. The first thing you have to do is get uncomfortable. Most people are unwilling to get uncomfortable. If you're not willing to get uncomfortable and do things that scare you, how are you going to grow? How are you going to build your character? How are you going to reach a level of success that you desire? You have to get uncomfortable. If you're not willing to, then it's impossible to reach that promised land that you desire. I think that actually, now that I think about that, is when you think about the Israelites, they were very uncomfortable when they were on their way to the promised land. They turned an 11-day journey into 40 years. They were just so uncomfortable, and they were more comfortable being slaves than they were being free. Think about that for a minute. Now, when it comes to being uncomfortable and getting out of your own way and fear, you have to think about something that your body was created with a nervous system, and your nervous system is what's creating that fight or flight mode. So whenever you're afraid to do something, this is going to kick in because it thinks, wait a minute, pause, this is a threat. So whenever you're doing something new that scares you, that is what's happening inside. Your nervous system is a filter basically. And when you do something new, it's going to be like, well, this is a threat. I've never done this before. What's happening? So what you have to do is you have to have a good internal dialogue with yourself. And you have to remind yourself that I'm getting out of my comfort zone. This is a safe space. And what I'm doing is good for me. The reason your self-talk is so important is because you have to remind yourself that you're doing something that's going to help you grow. And you have to calm that nervous system because, believe it or not, when you set a goal to do something, and it is a goal that is, out of your comfort zone and you're doing things you've never done before, what's going to happen is if you have not regulated your nervous system, then you're going to sabotage yourself. You're going to procrastinate. When you want to work towards a goal of earning $10,000 a month and you've never made that kind of money, this is a wild goal. And then you have to create all the activities, the input that you need to do to get there. And you've not regulated yourself to do that. You're going to procrastinate. Not because you're lazy, but because your nervous system is like, whoa, this is scary. I don't want to do this. And then you procrastinate and then you don't pursue the things that you need to do to get there. This is why it's important to regulate your nervous system because getting uncomfortable is the name of the game in business, and creating content and putting yourself out there requires that you get uncomfortable. So that's the first thing that we want to talk about today. Now, before I share the rest of it with you, I'm going to do some video edits for this video and then my video for Friday. So I'm going to dive into that. I ever earned my first dollar by following his principles. Before I ever earned my first dollar online, it took me 5 months to make money selling digital products. So I understand your pain and frustrations. I know that it can be hard to trust the Lord and believe that you'll have a breakthrough. We just finished editing the video for tomorrow and it took forever, but that's okay. We're here, we're going strong, we're moving forward, we're making progress, that's all that matters. But now I wanted to give you some more information about how you can change your life and get ahead of the 99%. So we talked about getting uncomfortable. That is key, right? You have to get uncomfortable. The next thing you do is you need to become the person. This is a principle from from Genesis chapter 1, verse 28. And it says, and God blessed him and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish and subdue and have dominion. The principle is be, do, have. You've probably heard of this before. And I love the way Myron Golden teaches on this principle, and I'm going to share exactly how I teach this. So the first thing you have to do is become the person, right? This is be. You have to be more than you're being, do more than you're doing, and then you'll have the possessions. Then you'll have everything you want. The key here is to become the person, right? If you want to be somebody who makes $10,000 a month, you have to become that person now from where you are now. You can't just say, oh, when I get to $10,000 a month, then I'll do this. It doesn't work like that. This is actually habit change at its core. And you might have read about this from Atomic Habits. James Clear talks about this. Most people, when they create goals and New Year's resolutions, they'll start with the outcome, the process, and then the identity. But it starts with the identity, process, and outcome. Are you seeing now? So I love this principle because I actually struggled with this when it came to business and when it came to just, achieving my goals. For one, I'm going to kind of bounce around here for a minute, but I didn't achieve my goals because I didn't become the person, but also I was stopped by fear and procrastination due to my nervous system not being regulated. And because I wasn't becoming the person, I wasn't taking the necessary action steps, I struggled. So who do you need to become? Okay, you need to act like that person now. What are their thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors? You need to take on that identity of the person you want to become. Even if you want to get a six-pack abs and you want to get shredded and build muscle, well, what does that person do? They go to the gym 3 to 4 or 5 times a week. They eat whole foods. They consume a lot of protein. See, are you understanding here now that if you want to have the thing, you have to act like the person who already has it. Take on their habits, beliefs, and routines and start acting like that person. The next thing you do is multiply. This speaks to our creativity, the activity you do every single day. So this would be the process, as we talked about, identity, then process. You have to commit to the process and become that person and do the activity. So going to the gym or, and in a business context, posting the content. You have to show up and do the thing. If you don't, you're never going to get where you want to go, and you're never going to have the results that you desire. You're never going to achieve the goals. But let me actually talk about that for a second. When it comes to achieving your goals, it's not about saying, I want 100,000 subscribers in 12 months. See, you can't put a deadline on it. So I was talking about goals before I was rudely interrupted by my camera running out of storage. But I was talking about how you can't put a deadline on your goals. You can't put a deadline on the things that you want to achieve when it comes to setting your goals, because you're not in charge of the outcome. See, you're in charge of being more and doing more, but God is in charge of the outcome, the fruitfulness, which is the third step. So we have be, which is becoming the person. Do is the creativity, the activity you're doing every single day. And then number 3 is possessions, which is the fruitfulness. You become fruitful because God blessed you. The scripture says that every good and perfect gift comes from God. So you can read that in James 1:17 and then also in John 3:27. So you are not in charge of the outcome. So if you say that I want to have $10,000 and make $10,000 a month in 30 days, and you're not being more and doing more, you're not going to have it. So you have to become the person first, then do the activity, and then eventually you'll reap a harvest. So if you want to get ahead of the 99% of the people out there, you need to get uncomfortable, you need to face your fears, and then you need to become the person you want to be. You have to think from the perspective of the desired outcome, and then you will actually start seeing results. When you start acting like the person and you start doing those things, you are guaranteed to have results at some point in time. Can't tell you when, because I'm not in charge of that, and neither are you. So you have to focus on becoming the person and doing the activity. Let me give you a personal example for myself. I deleted social media, so TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and my life completely changed. And it's October 9th, so I deleted social media September 30th, the night before. And my life feels so incredibly peaceful. I feel so much peace. But here's why I deleted it. I wanted to get uncomfortable. I wanted to put myself in the shoes of somebody who's making $20,000 a month. You might have already heard me talk about that in my videos where I'm documenting my journey in making $20,000 a month. And I needed to put myself in those shoes and get uncomfortable, delete social media, because most people think, oh, you need social media to build a business. Well, I am using YouTube, but YouTube is a search engine. It's a platform for searching how to do things and learning things. So I'm using this as my primary platform, as well as email marketing. So I'm putting myself out there, getting uncomfortable, deleting social media, and removing distractions. That's the other thing you have to do. You have to remove distractions. So whatever that is for you, remove them completely, because if you don't remove the distraction, you are never going to get where you want to go. Or it just might take you a lot longer to get there because you're so focused on these distractions. And so that's exactly what I had to do. I knew that if I wanted to change my life in 90 days and see where I could go, I needed to remove social media. I needed to delete it completely so that I can focus on the thing that's important to me. Right now, that is my finances and my business. We're struggling right now, but that's okay because we can work through it. And I want to be able to increase my chances of success in my business and to start earning and getting those paid clients by removing distractions. I'm not going to tell you what kind of distractions you need to remove. Some people will say you need to, stop watching Netflix. Some people will say you need to stop playing video games. I don't know what that is. And I'm not going to tell you that. At least right now, I'm not going to say anything about that because that's not for me to say. That is for you to decide. Because I still believe that you can have some of those things. Like I still play video games, but I focus on my productivity first, and then that's my reward system. So, find out what it is that's holding you back from having success and then remove it completely, cut it off. I would encourage you to remove social media. I promise you, you will feel a sense of peace that you've never felt before. Like I never have to worry about posting to those short form platforms and keeping up with the high pace and the edits and all this other stuff. And it's just so peaceful. I can post content on YouTube right now. I'm doing it every day, but that's not going to be a long-term strategy. But I mean, it's just, I feel so at peace. And so I want to encourage you to try deleting social media to see if you can increase your productivity, because you will. I believe you will. So give it a shot if you feel up to that. So I want to wrap this up for you. If you want to get ahead of the 99%, you need to get uncomfortable. You need to face your fears. You have to do things you're scared of doing. And then the second thing you need to do is you need to become the person. You need to change your identity, change your habits, change your beliefs, and you will become the person who can have the thing that you desire. As Myron says, be a little, do a little, have a little. But be a lot, do a lot, and you'll have a lot. So you need to become the person. You need to start doing and focusing on the activities that are required to get the results that you want. And then the other thing I said was remove distractions. You have to remove distractions. If you're not willing to remove the distractions that are blocking you from having that desired success, then it's going to be impossible for you to reach your results that you desire. So starting again, to recap it, you need to get uncomfortable. You need to focus on the be, do, have principle and remove distractions. So I believe that this right here is going to help you to excel in life and get ahead of the 99%. And actually, this is what I'm doing right now in my own life. I'm following these principles. I'm getting uncomfortable. I'm becoming the person, and I'm removing distractions. So if you see fruit in my life, it's because I'm following these exact things that I'm telling you to do. So I want to encourage you to try it out. See for yourself. You don't have to do it for 3 months, but try maybe for 7 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and see what happens. And I believe that your life is going to change. And I believe that you can do a lot more than you realize. I really hope that you got value from this video, because every day that I post these vlogs, I'm really trying to give you value. I'm really trying to make it practical so that you can do the steps and actually see results in your life. I don't want to just make these vlogs about myself. I want to actually serve you and give you value. So that's really how I'm starting to pivot in these vlogs compared to my first one to this one. And so if you did find it valuable though, please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and like this video so that we can push this video out there. And then comment down below what it is that you're going to start doing to remove distractions so that you can start becoming the person and having the success that you desire. Tomorrow, I'm going to be posting one of my favorite videos. It's going to be a video about how to make money online using a Bible story. There's 4 easy steps that you can follow. So be sure to subscribe so you can get that video and watch it and apply it. I promise you it's going to be amazing. So I want to thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.